Hello and welcome to another Excel tips video. I'm Sumit Bansal, and in this video I'm going to show you some simple methods to quickly remove dashes or hyphens in your dataset in Excel. So let's get started. Here I have this data set in the social security numbers format, and I want to remove all these dashes so that I am only left with these numbers. Now the easiest and the fastest way to do this is by using flash fill, where flash fill identifies the pattern. So in this case, if I enter one of the results with one of the expected results where the dashes have been removed, then flash fill is going to identify that this is what I want, and it is going to fill that same pattern for all the cells in this column. So see what happens. I'm going to manually enter the data where this is the result that I expect. So here, this is the number that I expect where the dashes have been removed. Now when I hit enter, the cursor went to the next cell here. Now I can simply use the keyboard shortcut Control E. So I hold the Control key and press the E key and see what happens. It instantly fills this entire column where it identified the pattern that I wanted to remove the dashes, and it fills all these cells following the same pattern. Now, if you do not want to learn a new keyboard shortcut, you can also do the same thing by going to the home tab, and here in the editing group you have the fill option, and within fill you have the flash fill option. So instead of using the keyboard shortcut, you can select this cell, and so enter one expected result, go to the next cell, and then use flash fill. Now one thing you can also do with flash fill is, in this case I've removed both the dashes, but what if I just want to remove the first dash, not the second one? So in this case, let's say this is my expected result that I want, where I've kept the first dash and only removed the second one. Or you can try it the other way as well. Again, you come to the next cell here, use the same keyboard shortcut Control E, and it is going to identify the pattern and only remove the second dash, not the first one. So as long as your data is consistent, there is a pattern to be identified, flash fill is going to work. Another very fast way to remove dashes or any other character from your data set is by using find and replace, where we are going to find all the dashes and then replace them using the find and replace dialog box. So to do that, I'm going to select this entire data set. Then I'm going to go to the home tab, and here again within editing, I'm going to click on find and select, and here click on replace. And when I do that, it opens the find and replace dialog box. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Control H. So you hold the Control key and you press the H key, and it is going to open the find and replace dialog box where the replace tab is selected. Now here in find what, I'm going to enter dash character because this is what I want to find, and I want to replace it with nothing, which is equivalent to removing all the dashes. So just this is what I want to do. And now I click on replace all. When I do that, it is going to find all the dashes in this data set, in this selected data set, and replace them with blank. See what happens? As soon as I click OK, click on replace all, it tells me how many replacements have been done. And now I can close this and I have got my data set. So this is again a really fast way. One thing that you cannot do with this method is you cannot choose which dash to remove, because in this case, it is going to find all the dashes and remove them. Unlike flash fill or any other method where you can actually choose that you want to remove the first dash or the second dash, in this method, you cannot do that. It is going to remove all the dashes. You can also use a very simple substitute formula to remove dashes. So in this case, I have my data set here and I want to get the result here in column B. So I'm going to use the substitute formula, where first I need to enter the text, where this would be the cell reference of the cell that has the text. Then I need to mention what's the old text that I want to substitute, which is going to be dash. So I need to put that in double quotes. So I would have double quotes here, and then I would have dash here. And then I need to mention what I want to substitute this with, which is going to be a null string. So I'm going to have double quotes without anything, which means I want to replace the dash, substitute the dash with nothing. And now when I close the bracket and hit enter, this is going to give me the result where the dashes in this cell have been removed, and you can copy this for all the other cells. Now, it also gives you a little more control. So let's say in this case, you do not want to remove the first dash and only the second dash. Then substitute function also takes one extra argument, which is the fourth argument, which is instance number. So in this case, I can say I only want to remove the second instance of the dash. So when I do that, it will keep the first one, but it is going to remove the second one. And now I can copy this for all these cells. Similarly, if you want to only remove the first one and not the second one, you can mention that here. And it is only going to remove the first one and not the second one. In case you do not specify this argument, the instance number argument, then it is going to remove all the dashes in your data. And the final method that I want to show you is by using Power Query to remove dashes from your dataset. So here again, I have the same dataset. Now to do this with Power Query, you would first have to convert this data into an Excel table, because an Excel table works really well with Power Query. So to do that, I'm going to select this dataset, go to the Insert tab here in the ribbon, and then click on Table. And when I do that, it is going to open this Create Table dialog box where I can check whether the range is correct or not, and check if my table has headers, which in this case does. Then make sure that this is checked and then click OK. You can also do the same thing by using the keyboard shortcut Control T. So if you want to convert any dataset into a table, select the dataset, hold the Control key, press the T key, and it is again going to open the same Create Table dialog box. Now, in this case, let me change this font color. I don't know why Excel does this, where it changes the font color where it's just not readable. Now I'm going to open this table in Power Query. So to do that, I'm going to go to the data tab. So select any cell in this table, go to the data tab, and then click on From Table Range. And when I click on this, it is going to open the Power Query editor, and it is going to open my data set, which is my table, in Power Query, where I can do the modifications. One interesting thing you should notice is that here on the right side, I have these steps that are being calculated, which are being listed. For example, as soon as I opened this, I've not done anything in Power Query. These two steps have already been listed. The first one is the source, where this step traces where is the source data, and then from where this data has been fetched, and then it has changed the type to text. So this is something that happens automatically. Now anything that I do here in Power Query is going to be listed here as steps. And the reason this is important is once you are done with the Power Query method and you get your data set back in Excel worksheet, then you do not need to repeat this process in case you get new data. You can simply refresh the query. It is going to happen. The steps are going to take place in the backend, and within a second or less than a second, you are going to get the updated data. Let me show you how it works. So I have this data here in Power Query. I'm first going to remove the dashes. So I'm going to right click on the column header, then go to replace values. This is going to open a dialog box where I can mention what value to find, which is dash in this case, and I want to replace it with blank. So I would leave this empty. And now when I click OK, you can see all the dashes have been removed. At the same time, this step has been recorded here as the third step where it says replaced value. Now, this is what I wanted. I'm going to just come here and click on close and load. And when I do that, it is going to insert a new sheet in the workbook and give me my result here in this sheet. So you can see I have my data here. So this is my original data, and this is the resulting data where the dashes have been removed. Now you must be thinking that this is a long and tedious process. Why do all these steps? But the benefit of Power Query is that in case anything changes in this original data set, then I can quickly refresh this data and get the new data without following the same steps. See what happens if I come here and I change a couple of these cells like this. Let's make this 1111. Let's also change this. Let's also change this. Now, if I come back here to this table, as of now, this is still showing me the old data. Now, if I want the new data here, I can simply right click and then click on refresh. And as soon as I do this, you can see that these cells have updated, and now these are connected to this table here, and it has automatically picked the new data from here, removed the dashes and gave it to me here. In case you have any other table that you want to change, for example, you have, let's say, another table in your workbook and you want this Power Query to be connected to that table instead, then you can also easily do that. You first come here to Queries and Connection pane. If you do not see this, you simply click on this query option, click on this data option, then click on Queries and Connection, and here double click on this query. And when I do that, it again opens this data back in Power Query, and here you can change the source data. So for example, in this case, my table name is table 3. And this Power Query data is connected to this table here, which is table number 3. I can easily go back to Power Query and change this to maybe table 4, table 5, or any other table in this source data, and close and load this, and it is going to automatically update this by connecting this Power Query result to that table. So you can see that Power Query is useful, but it is only useful if you need to do this quite often. If you're getting new data that you can copy and paste it here, or you get new tables that you can connect to Power Query, then it would instantly remove the dashes from it. But if you just want to do this once or twice, then you can use the earlier 3 methods, which is either using flash fill, find and replace, or the formula method. That's it in this video. I hope you found this useful. Also, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel or click on the bell icon so that you never miss out on any new Excel tips video I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.